My dad thinks the robot is going to be a failure. He thinks it's ridiculous and science fiction. Yeah, he does sometimes offer input, and it can be like at first I liked it, but a lot of times it's just not going to be as good as my own input because he doesn't have all the information, and I stopped trying to give him all the information. Toxic. The truth is, I am a lot smarter than he is, I think, at this point in my life. There are some advantages he has based on more experience with life, and there's a lot of wisdom I can gain from him, and I do take his advice at times, but when it comes to day-to-day time management and stuff like that, I think I can actually outdo him on his advice. And as far as career, long-term, strategic decision making, I also think I'm ahead of him in what he can advise because I research entrepreneurship all the time. I research business development and investment strategies. I do so much research that it has made me surpass him as far as knowing what's the next best move for my life. So a lot of times I just tell him I don't want his input or opinion. As it just frustrates me, and I've kind of had it with having people know too much about what I'm up to and give their oftentimes ignorant advice, not really knowing all the facts and everything involved, and just telling me, no, just focus on this or something broad like that, and they don't know all of the strategy and thinking that goes behind everything I do. So there's really no point to argue with people or get frustrated or involve them in my decision making anymore. I've kind of decided it's healthier for me just to bottle up and keep my plans to myself and just do my thing independent. I pretty much tell my Twitch a lot, probably more than I tell friends and family at this point, because the understanding my Twitch chat and I have is I'm a delusional idiot. I'm the guy that's fun to make fun of and laugh at. And so having that understanding and a certain lightheartedness to it all, which I perpetuate even further by joking and exaggerating things, um, makes it to where whenever I'm criticized by Twitch, I don't take it very seriously anyways. Whereas if I'm criticized by my fiance or my dad, that has a lot more sting and weight to it. So I prefer not to involve them at all and just not to discuss business or plans at all or even how much I'm making. And that's enabling me to be more independent and have less of a negative influence or feedback coming from family. Because at the end of the day, they don't know what I'm doing. They can't, they're not in a position to really give quality advice that would help. And most likely, or more often than not, whatever they have to say to me does more damage than good to my morale. And it's up to me then to go listen to 100 hours of motivational CDs and talks by Tony Robbins and talks by every other top entrepreneur to get myself recharged from whatever negativity and criticism I've gotten from family. And that just gets exhausting to constantly have to practically brainwash myself into overcoming all the negative things that family and friends have told me about what I'm doing and their worries about me and stuff like that. So I just assume not even hear it at all and just tell them, hey, this is something good that has happened, or this business is doing well, or I've had sales here. or this is picked up, but I don't get into any details, any projections. I just give general good news, little notices here and there, and that's it. And it's working out great for me. You're wrong. You cannot tell people I'm building a robot army and have them be like, "Oh, and here's my feedback and here's my input." They're all going to just be very concerned. Like, clearly this guy is delusional, blah blah blah. You wouldn't understand unless if you've done something that is literally science fiction. We're not just talking about, I'm planning to be an artist, and here's how much money I made at my last painting sale, and this is what I project I'll be earning by this time, and it's a legitimate career, and you can show other people that have been successful doing what you're doing. I can't even do that. I'm literally so far off the beaten path doing something so fantastical, so extreme. I mean, then again, I do have other businesses than just the robot, but that's my number one most important business in my eyes, actually. I'm more passionate about that than anything. No, um, I can be very confident but still have doubts. And times of weakness. So let's say my confidence can normally be really high, but then doubts can creep in at times. And hearing family just shoot you down all the time, it can really weigh on you. So it's really not worth the risk. Just out of the off chance that somebody from your family might give you like a really great strategic business idea that's going to make all the difference for you. It's really not worth discussing business if 9 times out of 10 they're just going to discourage you or make you doubt yourself. And like I said, it takes a lot of effort to recover from that. Dad says he's worried, he's disappointed, he wants more for me, he doesn't see it happening for me, I need to change my course, I should have done this, I should have done that. Hearing that, it's like, it takes a lot out of me. A lot of wind out of my sails. I just assume keep my sails filled. No, I don't want anybody's input. Um, I'll get input whether I want it or not, but I tell people thanks but no thanks. I'm not interested in what you have to say. And I really think that's the best way. After now approaching a decade of being an entrepreneur, I've learned that's really the best route. Because being an entrepreneur, it's all about maintaining your mental state at a high level of confidence, positivity, momentum, keeping things upbeat, and staying strong in your beliefs of what you're heading for as being you're on track. And hearing other people who are outside of that process don't know how vital your mental state is, don't know the full extent of your plans, how far you've gone, how far you have to go, what the extent of your knowledge is, what your competencies are relating to that pursuit, what your projected earnings could be and why, what the risks are. They don't have any of that information. All they know is, this is not what I'd be doing. And then they give you some generic advice and just generally belittle you. And it's just not worth it. I wouldn't doubt somebody giving input cares. But the problem is 99 out of 100 times their input has a negative impact mentally on me, an entrepreneur doing wild, crazy stuff that nobody else would do. Because they're not capable of seeing it. They can't see the vision, they can't get on board, they can't be excited, they can't understand why I would even try to do what I'm doing. And so that makes them a liability, because their words have the power to diminish my morale. And my morale is critical to my ability to perform at a high level and maintain a long-term push toward my goals. Thanks for the follow, Jam. I have to keep my morale high. So it's not worth opening myself up to negativity and negative feedback, especially from people who have the power to really cut deep. The fiance, the father, the mother, the sister, people that know you. Their words have the greatest potential to really crush me. So I absolutely do not want to open myself up to that pain and crushing, morale defeating negativity from people who can really bring me down. So I completely cut them out from any discussions regarding my businesses, my work, my progress. So they'll be here to love me for me and not really know what's going on. I'll be a mystery. They'll know I work hard. They'll know I'm up to some crazy projects, and that's it. And I want it that way. They won't know how much I'm making. They won't know if I'm on the right track. They won't know anything. And someday, if I choose, I might reveal, hey, I'm doing very well financially. And I'm not even going to tell them how well. I'll just, it shouldn't be about that. They shouldn't need to know how much I'm making anyways. It's none of their business.